In a world where fame and talent rarely go hand in hand, there was a woman who defied all expectations. Hedy Lamarr was not only one of the most dazzling actresses of Hollywood's golden age, but also a brilliant mind whose quiet ingenuity forever changed the future of communications. Few people know that behind that captivating beauty was an inventor whose work laid the foundation for Wi-Fi, the technology that connects the world today. Born in Vienna in 1914, Hedy grew up in a family that encouraged her love for science and the arts. From a young age, she showed an insatiable curiosity, a restless mind, and an independent spirit. Her education in a culturally rich environment and her fascination with engineering and technology set her apart from an early age. But the story everyone knows is a different one, the story of the movie actress, the Hollywood muse, the star whose face appeared on every magazine cover. Her path to fame was not an easy one. She began her career in Europe, playing roles in films that soon caught the attention of the American film industry. But Hedy wasn't only interested in cameras and glamour. As the world braced itself for one of the most devastating conflicts in history, she looked for a way to contribute beyond the stage. World War II made clear the urgent need for technologies that could protect military communications. Enemies were intercepting and jamming signals, causing irreparable human and strategic losses. It was in this context that Hedy Lamarr, inspired by her passion for science and with the help of George Antheil, an equally visionary composer, developed an idea that seemed straight out of a science fiction movie. Together, they invented a system called frequency hopping, a technique that allowed transmission frequencies to change rapidly to prevent them from being detected or interfered with. The innovation lay in synchronizing these changes using player piano rolls, an ingenious solution that combined music and technology in an act of pure creativity. This method was so advanced that it laid the foundation for secure wireless communications, the core of modern technologies like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. However, reality was harsh. The United States Navy, at that time, dismissed the patent. Why? Because the inventor was a movie star, and in an era when women had to fight for every bit of recognition, her idea was ignored due to prejudice and skepticism. Thus, Hedy and George's patent was shelved and forgotten for decades. But their legacy was not lost. The following decades saw technology evolve, and that frequency hopping system re-emerged as a fundamental concept for wireless communications. Finally, history began to recognize the true pioneer behind Wi-Fi. In 1997, almost 50 years later, the US government honored Hedy Lamarr with a special award, giving her the recognition she deserved. Hedy's life, however, was full of contradictions. While her name shone on the big screen, her scientific achievements remained in the shadows. She faced personal challenges, from turbulent marriages to the constant struggle to be taken seriously in a male-dominated world. But her restless mind never stopped imagining, creating, and challenging the limits imposed by society. Her story invites us to reflect on how talent is often hidden behind deceptive appearances, and how the contributions of women and other marginalized voices have been ignored for far too long. Hedy Lamarr not only invented a technology, she reinvented the way the world connects and taught us that genius can be hidden in the most unexpected places. While Hollywood defined her by her beauty, she was defining the future with her ideas. Her invention is now the backbone of our digital lives. It connects our homes, our devices, our lives. And yet, her name isn't the one everyone recognizes when we think of Wi-Fi. It's a powerful reminder that appearances can be deceiving and that true innovation can arise from the most unlikely combination of talents. Hedy Lamarr was an invisible pioneer, a brilliant mind hidden behind the mask of glamour. Her legacy continues to inspire new generations to look beyond stereotypes, to value creativity and intelligence where it's least expected. Because her story is not just that of an inventor, but of a woman who broke the mold and, against all odds, changed the world. When we send a wireless message or browse the internet today, we should remember that woman who, with courage and passion, quietly invented the future. Her life shows us that talent has no gender or appearance, and that sometimes, geniuses don't wear white coats or work in laboratories, but instead light up history from the depths of a film studio. This is how the first part of Hedy Lamarr's story ends, a woman whose name should be on every page of modern technology, and whose spirit still echoes in every wireless signal we cross. Soon, we will learn more about her life, her challenges, and how her legacy changed the world forever. In the heart of Hollywood, while Hedy Lamarr dazzled on screen, the real battle of her life was being fought away from the spotlight. Behind the glamour and makeup, she faced a world that wasn't ready to recognize her genius. Her invention, the frequency hopping system, was sidelined, as if an actress couldn't also be an innovator. But the story was far from over. For years, Hedy kept exploring new ideas, keeping alive that spark of creativity that set her apart. However, public recognition continued to elude her. Her 1942 patent expired without the US government ever using it, and the world kept moving forward, unaware that a woman had laid the groundwork for the wireless revolution. As technology evolved in the following decades, the work of Hedy and George Antheil quietly resurfaced. The armed forces began to apply the idea of frequency hopping in communication and missile guidance systems, especially during the Cuban Missile Crisis, where secure transmissions were vital. It was in the 1990s when justice was finally done. Recognition for Hedy Lamarr came in the form of awards and honors, not only for her work in the film industry, but also for her contribution to science. In 1997, she received an award from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which celebrated her ingenuity and vision. However, this recognition came too late to change the narrative of her life. The duality of Hedy Lamarr, the star and the inventor, reveals much about the social barriers of her time. Women, especially those known for their physical appearance, were underestimated and their intellectual abilities questioned. Hedy had to fight against that stereotype, keeping her true passion a secret so as not to jeopardize her acting career. But beyond the prejudices, her story is a reminder of the power of human ingenuity. Frequency hopping not only revolutionized military communications, but also paved the way for technologies we now take for granted, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and many other forms of wireless communication that have transformed our daily lives. Imagining a world without these technologies is almost impossible. In an instant, everything that connects our phones, computers, smart appliances, and medical devices depends on the principles that Hedy Lamarr and George Antheil designed. Their invention is present in every corner of the planet, even though their names are rarely mentioned. Hedy's legacy invites us to reflect on how innovation can come from unexpected places and on the importance of recognizing those who break barriers, especially when those barriers are made of prejudice and stereotypes. Her story is an example of how talent and creativity can flourish even in adverse circumstances, and how a passion for science and knowledge can change the world, even if no one notices at first glance. Today, in the digital age, when we send a message, listen to music on streaming services, or simply browse the internet, we are using an invention whose history is marked by the determination and courage of a woman long forgotten by history. Hedy Lamarr is an inspiration to everyone, especially to those who fight to be recognized in fields dominated by others. Her life also reminds us that a person's true worth does not lie in their appearance or fame, but in their ability to imagine a different future and work to make it a reality. In a world that often judges by appearances, Hedy shows us the importance of looking beyond, of valuing intelligence and creativity where we least expect it. Hedy Lamarr's legacy did not end with her death in 2000, but lives on in every wireless connection we make and every signal that crosses the air without wires. It is the story of struggle, of innovation, and above all, of hope for those who dream of changing the world. So, the next time we turn on our devices, let's remember the woman who, with her ingenuity and determination, gave us the freedom to connect without limits. Hedy Lamarr was not just the woman who invented Wi-Fi, she was a pioneer whose story deserves to be told again and again to inspire future generations to break their own barriers and reach for their dreams. And this is the story of Hedy Lamarr, a woman who defied fate, transcended stereotypes, and changed the world from the silence of invisibility. A legacy that, although hidden for decades, now shines with all its strength. Do you like these stories? Then give us a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. You help us a lot to keep bringing you amazing stories and to grow this community.